What's up, folks? We are live here on Tell Us About Yourself with Joseph McGregor. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Chibi was just letting the dogs know they could shoo because they are barking.
That's I'm your host today, and Dustin, Dustin got a little sickies, and he is not going to be on the show tonight. But
Let's arraign weapons.
I knew I forgot. Oh, one moment as I get ready to get pelted by things. But while we're doing that, I do have a little bit of announcement of sorts that Dustin wanted me to say as I get ready. Dustin wanted us to remember that Bob Dunn is still recovering and for him to be in our prayers. Captain Con just happened. One of the best shows in Super Show, or the best events that Super Show gets to do, because that is where we did the award show for this past year, and a lot of awards were given out. One was given to me for being best commentator. So, yay me. Uh, Dustin would also like to say that he is sorry that he can't be here. He loves and is thankful for all the support and all the get well soon and all that. But the show is not about us. The show is about Joseph here. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I just got done for the day, kind of getting the kids squared away with what they were wanting to do, playing games, etc. They do like to yell occasionally with glee, etc. So fair warning. Doing well.
So, how did you find yourself in?
Uh, I was trying to remember earlier when we bumped into GM Calais and the others. And I talked to my pal Tristan Peppers. In the faction, he's known as Chili Pepper, Ghost Chillin' Pepper. Uh, so, uh, and so Chillin' Pepper and I were at Gen Con in 2016, and we heard this match is set for one fall, and
Fun fall.
right, and everyone, phew, and so we were like, "What the heck is that?" And as we get closer, I see wrestlers in the mix, and I'm like, "Well, okay," because you had a couple professional wrestlers there at the time. Um, we approached, we met up with GM Calais and a couple others, and they set us up with some cards. We went and we played demos with Patrick Mulligan, and the rest was history. We took the cards home. We played for 2 years. Then, when we came back to the LFF, which was last year, Origins, um, I realized we'd been playing the game a little off. So we were like, "Oh, okay, well, we'll get this kind of squared away and learn how to play it efficiently." And so when we did, we officially stepped into the ring and started to play in the big league, so to speak. We're still noobs, so we haven't really had heavy matches yet, but we will.
It's good to learn that even though you're making mistakes, you're able to get the right ruling and start learning correctly. But for playing for 2 years, no matter what, it still makes you actually one of the older or one of the longer lived players right now, which is interesting. Ow.
Yeah,
Especially when you haven't been part of at large.
right. And so this is kind of a big year for me. I'm hitting like 6 cons. My company is a gaming company, and we run a lot of games at different cons, and we also help folks run their booths. Sometimes we can help with problems. Sometimes we can um, kind of help them navigate their traffic, their flow. But if not, we're running games like D&D and other things like that at the cons we go to, and that's really how we ran into the guys was by walking through. Um, so
Cool. So
yeah.
you said that you have a background in all types of games. What normally do you guys get put into when you're at the convention? Helping?
Normally, I'm running Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. If I'm not running a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, which is set in my own world that I built called Agrosia, then I am running Fallout, 2D20
Fallout pen and
Modifius.
paper.
Yeah, pen and paper Fallout 2D20 Modifius. Probably one of the most accurate systems I have ever bumped into in my 30 years of gaming. When I say accurate, you can account for anything without 700 different tables. No offense, AD&D lovers.
I remember the first time I got involved with a Fallout pen and paper, but mine was the one we used was the D100 system.
Oh, okay, I've heard of that one. There's a couple of them out there that were kind of homebrewed.
Oh yeah, that one was silly because of all the shenanigans that happened if you take the unlucky perk. Because then anytime you fail a roll, you have a 50% chance of critically failing. That is both positive and negative because for every time your guns blow up, your opponent's guns blow up just as much. It was
Oh, that's
chaos
great.
for the DM. It was much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, the high seas games are always fun in D&D as well. I found that the dungeons are great and it's always fun to crawl through one, but really where it's at um excuse me, where it's at is kind of getting out of that realm, out of your comfort zone and playing in a different geographical area. So,
You can't hear me. I'm sorry if you can't hear me. I'm talking as loud as I can. I need a new mic. But either way, so Joseph, what is your main line of work?
my main line of work is I teach at a college. I work for North Central State College here in Ohio. I'm now exclusively an instructor there. I'm an adjunct instructor at the moment, but that may be changing in the future. We'll see how things go the next few months. I teach basic composition, advanced composition, literature, and business and law writing.
You teach a lot.
Yeah, I'm capable of teaching all of those things.
Okay.
Yeah. And law writing is the definitely the hardest, definitely the most difficult.
What what do you feel help? Do you feel a correlation between the job that you do and being a GM for or a DM for Dungeon and Dragons? Does
Y-
knowing all this teaching stuff help you with
Knowing all the teaching stuff helped me be a better GM. Yes, it does because what it allows me to do is be a better presenter, right?
that?
So in front of the classroom, I can present very comfortably because I'm very alert, very aware of what not only my students are doing and thinking because I can see them and interact with them, but also um, because I'm comfortable with the information. And uh, the same kind of thing occurs when you're running a game. Like especially if you've created the world like I did, which I'd be happy to get into that another time if you're interested. But um, the world that you create your own world, you know everything that's going to happen, you know what you want to put forth, you kind of guide the story. The players are ultimately going to rail the story where they want it to go, and you kind of catch up. But um it's all about being comfortable in what you're presenting. If you're not, it'll be picked up pretty easily. That's why a lot of first time GMs have trouble because they're just not able to grab the audience attention like they would like to. But I say do and keep doing, and you'll get better and better and better at it.
Almost definitely. That I agree that for first time DMs, they always have an issue of finding that confidence to be able to narrate their own story without losing control of it. Don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I would totally agree. You have to be able to go with the flow. And it's the same thing in the classroom because not everybody's going to get the same thing at the same time all the time.
Mhm.
And so you just go with the flow. You move and you get down on the student's level, you get down on the player's level, you figure out what it is their needs are, whether it's social or maybe even educational about the game rules, right? And you meet them there. So yeah, much like the SRG community does. That's like having a whole room full of GMs, game masters. It's
Oh yeah,
uh, because I need a rule clarification, and like two people start walking your way before they realize that somebody's already got it, and then they'll leave. Then the one person comes. And
that
I'm a
is
talker.
that is definitely one of the nice things about the community. But
Yeah.
let's go to the community real quick and see if they have any questions. Uh, the Italian Bombata asks, "Is tonight's show sponsored by a union?" Sadly, my shows are never sponsored, but we might hear about a union a little later in the show.
hmm
Uh,
hmm Yeah, I think that's a great question. Any other questions tonight with regard to Joe here, regular guy Joe, ready to answer anything you might have. Um,
so
well,
far, none from there. Let me check in the Zoom to see if we have any. None
sure.
in the Zoom yet. So
Well,
let's continue with a little bit more. So
okay.
another question I like to ask is, did you have any wrestling, like a love of wrestling background before finding out about SRG?
Yes, I watched the best wrestling program that ever existed, WCW, um, back in the 90s. It was it was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I love the NWO shtick. It wasn't until after Sting joined that I went with them because Sting's my favorite wrestler. Um, and so, I followed this path of the WCW, watched it get bought up by WWE, and I'd never watched WWE at that time. I'd watched WWE when I was a kid, like Saturday Night Main Event. Um, Now, WrestleMania 3 was the same year I was born, so I saw it like 4 or 5 years later, and I was really upset that the Giant got taken down. Like it was just something I didn't really care for, something that kind of scarred me a bit as a child. Andre the Giant was my dude. Um,
Who could beat
but
such a giant man? But
I know,
Hogan.
right? Right, of course. Yes, he was pumping up for that one.
Oh yeah.
But later on, I got back to liking Hogan because he did his whole, and he was more comical and funny with the way he projected himself, and I think that's kind of the way I'm projecting myself in the SRG as far as things are concerned. Is kind of like in that similar aspect. It's a fun time, but I have to beg for mercy when the foreman shows up to knock me out for my late union dues.
Oh no. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
you
was.
can't be late with those dues. Otherwise, I mean, the whole system just collapses on itself.
Well, the other day I was talking to GM Calais. I walked out of the room and down the hallway, and this guy pops out, smashes me over the head with a slapjack, grabs my badge, starts walking the other direction towards the SRG room while I'm passing out.
And I definitely heard of a lot of disturbances about forced uh timeouts, and we couldn't continue the show for a while from the foreman at this last Captain Con. And I know that GM Calais was like dumbfounded by why this person was even saying any of this stuff.
Yeah, this okay, so I'll give you just a quick rundown of who this guy is. So this guy started out as uh a tent master. He was a guy that set up circus tents. He was a guy that set up, promo shows for small dirt bike and whatnot events. but he moved his way up to the wrestling ring gamut,
Stage
and I right stage crew and and ring crew, and so I met the guy. I said, "Hey, I see you're doing some good work out here. I like the setup you got. I got a little bit of experience with lighting and sound, so I said, why don't we work together?" He said, "Ah, you got to join the Unionverse." I said, "What's the Unionverse?" We sign up to this thing, and this is, of course, when we're still in the Indies before BCW and LFF, and I sign up for this thing. A couple months later, he says I owe him $1,500 in late union dues.
I,
Like, where did that come from, brother? Apparently, when you sign up, your first three big money paychecks go to the union for assessments and damages to the name of their company. I just think I, I don't know. I
that
think it's
can't be
crap.
legal.
I don't think it is, but that's the foreman for you. Um, so the only reason that I think he stays in compliance and listens to management in any way, shape, or form is because of that wife of his, the lady that runs HR. She keeps him in check.
Well, that's good. It's good that the power has a strong woman to guide him in the correct way, or
Right.
as well as he can, especially if he's forcing $1,500 dues on first
Well,
time employees.
I'll do it right here, and I'll do it right now. Foreman, if you're out there, I want to wrestle you, and I want a clean match for those dues because you got lawyers and everybody calling me, and I'm tired of it. So I will face you at Grand Gathering for the late dues and the late fees. You better be there.
There we have it. Foreman versus Joe. Simple. No, not
Regular guy Joe.
regular guy.
Yeah, I like
There's no.
that. I
Yeah,
That well, that's the gimmick that I'm going to run with is regular guy Joe, because that's GM Calais called me that, and he and I are like really tight. We're good friends. So,
that's
yeah, I like the guy. He's pretty cool, and he says he's in charge of the LFF as the general manager, and he happens to be very wealthy, and I like both of those things. So I was like,
who
cool, let's
could
hang
not
out.
love.
Right. So,
So going back into your original love of wrestling, WCW fan. What?
oh,
I know we've had a lot of similar gimmicks come up from from those days. What? Do you have a favorite gimmick that you've seen so far in the LFF?
the gimmick that I really like and so far that I've seen, well, if I could say two, I would like that if I could please.
Of course,
The first, yeah, oh gosh, I just had it in my head too. Is it Uberstar?
the Lucha Maniacal Uber Star. Yes.
Yes, he showed up, and I was just enamored with this visage of a luchador. And so I have to say that I really appreciated getting a chance to see him. And I like it, and I was told by a friend of his that's not a gimmick. That's
Mhm.
who he is.
That is
Uh,
definitely who he is. He is a
yeah,
very crazed individual.
yeah. And the other one, because I don't want to walk the plank, and the union is well at the moment conscribed to 6 months of hard labor for the Dread Pirate Roberts. The Dread Pirate Roberts. I mean, Dread Pirate Tech Support. Oh no,
Yeah, Dread Pirate Tech Support, also a very big personality in the LFF, and
I'm walking the plank.
I mean, he'd rather just Shanghai you into doing his tech support duties for him.
Right. Anyway, sorry about that.
No, great. So going back to how you originally got in, you said that you played with your family. So and
Yeah,
we have a lot of families that play Super Show together, and
yeah.
it's good. So your family consists of who?
My I have a 17-year-old. I have all my boys are boys. I've got a 17-year-old. I've got a 12-year-old. I've got a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old.
And all of them
And
play.
not all of them. The three younger ones do. The older one is just starting to get some interest in it. And then
That
I
means
have,
older boys will be older boys.
yeah, and then I have a nephew that is going to start playing here soon.
Nice. Okay, so
Yeah,
a large
spreading the
group.
love.
That's nice. That's very nice. And does the wife play? You said.
Yes, the missus just started playing about a month ago with me. She stomps the heck out of me a lot, and I'd say she's a natural at the game. So
Great.
we're actually partnering up on Friday night. There's another couple that I turned on to the game, whatever, and they hey, I turned the game on you. Oh, I wouldn't want that. Triple H is scary.
Oh,
Um, oh yeah, he's scary. Um, man, can you think of that guy as a boss? Anyways, but we're going over to play tag teams with a couple that lives down the street. I had gotten him and his wife into uh the game as well. Actually, Mr. Safety is who that is.
Mr. Safe. I don't
Yeah,
think I've had the pleasure of meeting such a person, but
you will.
that's always.
Okay. Uh,
Sorry, we have the ghost of a devil's reject posting that he's going to tell us who the next week's special guest is.
cool.
And
While
thank.
he's doing that, I can totally.
Oh, oh no, he had a power outage. Huh? We seem to be
Hello,
having.
Chibi.
Hello. Ah! Hi, Mr. Corbin. Uh,
So,
what,
how are
what?
you?
I'm doing fine. Yourself?
Oh, I'm just going through this wallet that I found on the floor.
Oh, oh,
Oh, what? No. Oh, fine, I'll put it back in his pocket. HR
you
saying I'm not allowed to go through that.
you found it in someone's pocket.
Oh, no, no, not at all. That guy owes me money, man. $1,500 of late dues. Can you believe that?
Well, I mean,
It's ridiculous.
okay.
Man, this guy has a huge head. I can hardly even fit my helmet over his. Man, hold on a second. A couple more stops will keep him out for a bit.
I
All
think
right,
he
so
said he wanted to wrestle you for those late.
if he's going to wrestle me in that condition, he's not going to get very far, Jimmy.
Oh no.
So, what? Let me. I just came here real quick to spread a message.
All right, go ahead.
So, and hey, folks out there that want to know more about the union verse and the foreman and all of that, ask away because we love it, baby. We love it. But listen, on another level, I gotta spread this. We will see a rise of the union at the Grand Gathering 3. You will see something that comes quicker, faster, and stronger than any other faction you've ever dealt with before. Everything will be set up in such a way that Calais won't even be able to stop us. We actually even may have found some legal counsel.
Eagle
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. To verify that this signature is indeed GM Kalache's. Kalache.
Count. He doesn't sign anything. How did you get that?
Oh, well, he signed some paperwork, don't you know? The union, went right across the BOSS's desk, had the paperwork all put together, and we just happened to have his signature on the paperwork. So we were extremely excited to get started in the LFF. We were indie wrestlers before this, but now we got those big money contracts. The other thing I want to say is Split, I like you. I like what you do. Heck, I started out as a tent master, somebody that worked in the stage crew and set up circus tents. Hey, I probably could have fixed those pipes no problem, but a message had to be sent. We're not going to be upstaged by anybody, especially a clown in a mask. So if you want to face us off at Grand Gathering 3, we'll take it. And maybe I'll pay off a certain royalty to give me a hand with that.
Certain royalty.
Somebody that I've worked with in the past.
Well,
So,
Mr.
yeah,
Foreman, while you're here, would you like to answer some questions?
of course. What can I answer and how can I help? Listen, folks, I might sound a little crass tonight, but that's because GM Calais, Joe said I was traveling. GM Calais and Joe, they found me out back. And well, I'm wearing glasses tonight, and I'd rather not show my eyes because the guys they had attack me in luchador masks wasn't cool, and they had me trucked in a trunk all the way back to Ohio. Not happy about this. And if it wasn't GM Calais, I want to know who it was.
That is some way to travel.
Little bumpy.
All right,
So I'm here for the people. Yes.
so the Italian Bombata asks, what is your local, if you haven't?
Okay, so the locals, as far as in the Unionverse, we have a couple of people, and if he's talking about promotion, I could talk about that too. So we've got Mr. Safety, head of safety. He wears that green hard hat. You'll see his picture up here in the next few days. I'll be posting some more about him, and he may show up in some promos. Uh, we've got HR. She's in pink. We've got Chillin' Pepper and Orange. We've got the disgruntled janitor as well. Yes, yes. Brett Craig is quite the cleaning crew. He makes sure he cleans up anything that I can't handle the first time. And look, sometimes I'm a little tired, I do a lot. I work a lot. Oh, and as far as locals go, we're part of the Buckeye Championship Wrestling promotion.
Buckeye
Um,
Championship
Yeah, I was just recently told that yours truly is going to get to represent the hardcore title as the GM. I'm
Wrestling. Ooh,
currently the interim GM. We'll be holding the inaugural hardcore BCW belt tournament this year. And if both players can make it to Grand Gathering, we are going to have the final match at the Grand Gathering for the belt.
even better.
That's a belt the Unionverse made, by the way. So anybody that doesn't think we do good work, this proves you wrong. Right,
That's a
Split?
pretty belt.
Thank you.
Okay. Bombata also is asking, what's the union's local number?
Oh,
Or
give
is
me
the union verse so large that it does not have
the Unionverse is more of a conglomerate. We're looking to span out not only from the LFF and the BCW. We're looking to span to Rust Belt. We're looking to span to Deep South. We're looking to span to TVA. Midwest Coast. We want workers in every division and in every promotion. We want to make sure that the people are taken care of. They get their 30-minute breaks, cigarette breaks, and that they also are given proper time off and sick leave when appropriate. We just want what's best for the people.
sick leave? When was the last time anyone got sick leave for a wrestling competition?
I I gotta tell you, that's what Calais said too, and I'm just trying to be honest with you. The union can provide that, and we can still get you your big money paychecks. Yes, I heard what that wuss was saying about what was it? Uh, $1,500 he didn't know about. We can sign that right out of the contract. Just ask the disgruntled janitor. Well, he actually got a heavy sign-on bonus for what he did to that clown, but
Aye. Okay, okay. Let's not say anything that will get us into legal trouble here. But
right.
especially if it incriminates us into some damages that happened in a house.
Amen. I mean, who would have known that would even happen? It's ridiculous. And then Neko doesn't even send us the work order. I tell you.
Ah. Okay, so we have some lightning fast questions that we'd like to ask guests on, and since you knocked out my previous guest, I guess I can just ask you one.
Fine, that's great.
First off, horse or shark?
Shark. Pro
Pineapple
shark.
or sheep?
Sheep all the way.
Cat or dog?
Dude, that is a tough one, but I will say dog just because my pearly girl.
Makes sense. Uh, Candy ma'am or candy man?
Candy man.
Everyone chooses the emo ma'am or the candy
I Emo Ma'am is a cool character. Good competitor.
man. And last but not least, uh, the Nightmare King or the Dark Prince?
Oh, Dark Prince all the way. Nightmare King's out.
There you have it. That's the first time someone said Dark Prince.
Oh, well, come on. You kidding me? That guy's a hard worker. Doesn't get the
He does
doesn't get the
not.
credit he deserves. He needs union rep. He needs support.
Some
Maybe we'll
people
talk to him
prefer
about
the
a
old.
benefits package. That's true. That is true. I was chatting with someone recently that told me that they had several uh, different entrances into the promotion, but yet didn't have like one specific one they would go to. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because they like them all.
Of course. So Foreman, we've gotten your background. We've gotten what you're after in the current uh, mindset. What about in the future? Are you looking to be immortalized into the LFF as a competitor?
Well, yes. I'm looking to do a competitor card. I owe it to my little dude, Malcolm. He's my middle child of the three youngest, and he's always supported me. He's always believed in me. He goes everywhere with me, does everything with me. And I told him because he's low foreman, I told him he could be on the card too. So yeah, yep. So pretty excited about that. Um,
Give me 1 second. And
sure.
while I'm doing that, could you answer? Uh, okay, take it. But so your kid, you want to get him on the card. Any idea of what you would want for your gimmick?
Well, I've thought about it a lot, and it's either going to be something to do with tools as a trigger word, and if I can get the okay from the BOSS, I might make it similar to his, or maybe look at creating some kind of skin of his with the same gimmick but different. Because I like to play power, technique, and grapple. I guess I'm a kind of an aggressive player, so.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
Evil Ed is in the house. How's it going, Evil Ed? Once again, congratulations on finally getting your competitor card in the game. That's
Oh, Evil Ed's
definitely
awesome.
very, very overdue.
Love Evil Ed. Good guy.
Evil Ed is so Foreman, are
Yes.
we expecting to see you in any large events coming up?
Well, the foreman will be at Grand Gathering. As you know, I just called out Split. If he wants to fight again, I'm ready. You'll also see me at Origins Gen Con. I'm actually going out to visit some friends at Gary Con as well. So, but I don't think you guys go out to Gary Con as far as
Never
SRG
even
is
heard of
concerned.
Gary.
It's to immortalize Gary Gygax, the gentleman that wrote D&D.
Ah,
Yeah, the original D&D.
he just
His son puts it on.
passed away. What,
2008. Yep.
so I did not know that they had made a convention about celebrating his life. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, his son did. His son retired from the army, came back, and then set it up. He's a really cool guy.
If he's anything like his father, I would imagine, because
Yeah.
that man was something else.
A- Actually, to be honest with you, in chatting with Luke Gygax, I have to say that he reminds me a lot of Steve Resk. They have a very similar, like, hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing, friend? How can we make our lives better by knowing each other and just being friends and whatnot, you know? So,
So we've discussed the Union verse in general. We now know some of the members of the Union verse. We know what your eventual wanting of taking over the entirety of the Super Show multiverse.
I mean, eventually we're going to have to put a Unionverse member into the void too. So, I mean, once,
Wait,
I
wait,
think,
wait, 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 wait. No, 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 no. You can't put anything into the void. That area is off limits to everyone. You need very special paperwork for that.
oh, I understand. What I was saying though was like if one of our members is able to eventually face off against the Dread Pirate tech support, um, then they for the intergalactic, I mean,
Oh, 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 oh,
gone.
okay,
That void, not the other void. The other
okay.
void's scary, and I don't want to go there.
They're one and the same. It's just different parts of the same void.
Oh. I
It's like going through the back door versus going through the main entrance,
understood.
and the toll is steep no matter which way you go.
Yar. I've heard that.
So you said you have a dog. What kind of dog?
I have an Australian Shepherd. I just turned on my 8-bit sunglasses.
Hey,
Oh, I got.
hey, hey! We prefer TV in here. I'm perfectly fine with 8-bit sunglasses, but there's a filthy casual that likes to talk way too much trash about how 8-bit's better than TV.
What? Well, I don't know if he's better than you, but like I met the guy and he hooked me up with these glasses. He was really nice to me. We sent him a benefits package to see if he'd be interested. Um, no, Pearl is my girl. Honey, where is the pearly squirrel? Pearl. I'm trying to get her to come over here. Pearl is my service pup. I served in the U.S. Army, and I have a psychiatric service dog. She is really awesome. She is currently learning to do all kinds of great things. And you'll probably, hi, Pearl, come here. I think HR is going to bring her over. Um, come here. So, yeah, she's an absolute wonderful sweetheart. Come here, babies. Oh, she's preoccupied with mommy right now. Yeah. Anyway, she's an Australian Shepherd. She's my service dog. She goes everywhere that I go if I'm walking out and about. We are slowly acclimating her to large crowds and also acclimating her to indoor activities that aren't the house. So, hi, baby. Here she is.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, this is Pearl. Pearl. Yeah, beautiful pup.
But
Yeah.
there is a long, long, long history of adorable animals in SRG. what do you think about it at this last at the award show? A stuffed animal winning best pet award.
I mean, I, you can, I mean, you can, I guess it depends on the amount of love you're willing to put into what it is you cherish, right? Like, um, I give Pearl a voice. I give her a little voice and kind of make her kind of give her own little personality just to kind of play around. So technically, I mean, that's kind of the same thing. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool actually. People have things that they I know Edo uses some stuffed animals as well to kind of
Like,
prop up his stuff too, and I think it's cool. Now, um, you know, me well, no, yeah,
yeah, but
no, that's where
they're
I'm at with
always
that.
yeah, but they're always stuffed animals. They aren't pets,
That's true.
yeah, like quite a few pets got snuffed, got stiffed over for Farley, and I like Farley. I deal with Farley all the time, but I would never call him a pet. I would call him an associate.
An associate, right?
Yeah, I mean the amount of wool cutters that he gives Schmidt makes me so happy. But
Mm.
going on, we do have a question in the Zoom. If the Dark Prince would unmute himself and ask his question.
Oh,
Oh, hey, man.
oh, hey, man.
I heard what you had to say, and there's going to be a little discussion about that on the time. But
Cool.
I have a couple questions to ask you. Two of them, to be exact. One of them,
Okay.
who is your dream opponent in LFF that you like to go at? Who you would
I
like to go against?
I haven't got to meet a lot of people yet, but I would like to face off against Chili Willy, whether it's for a title or whether it's not for a title. I don't care. I think the man has a lot of charisma. He's another reason that I gravitated towards the game. I believe he was at Origins recently, if not just the last one, and the one before, if he wasn't at this last one. I remember him because he's just his one, you hear him when he talks, but two, he just has a lot of charisma. He reminds me of myself a bit, really. Um, I know. Joe says he's got a lot of charisma. I don't know. I just talk to a lot of people. What
Eh,
else you got, brother?
okay. One more little question to ask you. If you were in any company and you went after the tag team titles, who will you bring with you, and which company will you go after?
I honestly think that if I went after tag team titles, I would go after the no, not the I said I was gonna say TNT, but the AEW tag titles, and I would probably take with me um Jungle Boy Jack Perry. He's one of my favorite newbies to the wrestling scene, and I know he's not newbie anymore, but he is young.
Interesting. All right, carry on.
Awesome. Thanks, Dark Prince.
No problem.
Oh,
Chubby.
we're back. Okay, good. All right. So, last couple of questions I'd like to ask.
Ooh,
Seeing as you have the old school wrestling flair and the love of the WCW, if we could get
WCW.
if we could get one wrestler under contract for the game from those olden days, what wrestler would you
Well, there are two that come to mind. One of them passed in 2022. Scott Hall, may he rest in peace. Great wrestler, great. The hey ma, you know who I am, Chico. That was great stuff. I went back and watched his WWE stuff because I loved the guy so much. And then maybe Scott Steiner. I mean, I know Scott Steiner's a keg of dynamite ready to explode at any time, but I was a huge fan of the guy in 98, 99, and 2000.
like? Diner Math is still very, very remembered.
Hmm.
Scott Hall would definitely be one of those that would be a dream pickup. I know it's a little more difficult just because
Right.
his likeness is kind of owned by WWE, but I mean, other games seem to be able to get them, so
Yeah. Yeah. Well, uh, is he signed into a WWE Legends contract?
I don't believe he is, but
Hmm.
it's just definitely usually when people pass away, we the way to get them to
Oh,
uh, get their friends and families to let you use that, but in some cases,
right, right,
their likenesses might be owned. So we not might
yeah,
not be able to get Scott Hall, but maybe
yeah.
maybe another interpretation.
And Scott Steiner himself would be hard to grab up. I think just because he seems like I said like a keg of dynamite.
Oh yeah.
But then if that wasn't the case, I would really kind of like to see from the olden days Disco Inferno as a card. He was hilarious.
I mean, Disco Inferno still shows up at shows apparently.
He should.
I remember seeing him in one of the indie promotions for like a year and a half maybe ago.
Right? Or sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, no, no.
I was gonna say, or Juventud Guerrera before you remove the mask. That would be a good one to have in the game.
All of those very very good choices. And some of them could be possibilities just because they're not signed to larger promotions.
Right.
As we know, dealing with large promotions is a pain in the butt. Speaking of which, if we could get someone from like AEW or WWE presently when they leave contract, who would you like to see out of those people?
I understand that Cody Rhodes there was some interest in Cody Rhodes being in the game.
I will
And
stop you right there and let you know that Steve Rest will never let Cody Rhodes into the game.
oh, well then let's go with and look, I'm not a big fan of him after he left the TNA or the AEW. I keep doing that, the Total Nonstop Action, because I used to the only other promotions I've
TNA
ever
was also a
watched.
very entertaining show to watch for a while.
It was. But the only other shows I ever watched were ROH and TNA until AEW came along. I don't watch the big promotion. I don't watch the big one. So anyway, but no, that would Cody Rhodes is a good wrestler, but I don't know. Just the same, I think that maybe if you were looking for like a high profile star that might be leaving and going somewhere else, Paul, uh, the Big Show, what's his last name? That would be cool.
But Big Show definitely would be one of the largest wrestlers to ever sign with us if we were able to get him.
It would be cool. Uh, and I take it these
Paul
kinds of
White.
things.
Thank you.
Paul White, yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah, really, really great guy, really cool person. I met I was in the army. I got to meet a lot of wrestlers because the WWE would bring them in, and it's like okay, it's just the wrestlers and not Vince, so I'm gonna go, so I'm gonna
Did
go in here and meet them.
Did you ever get to see uh the the shows that they would do on base at
No,
the big shows? Just
no, I was in the Presidential Guard, so we were going wherever he was going, and if we weren't going where he was going, we were looking pretty standing in the line somewhere.
makes sense. Makes sense.
But they came on our post and visited Triple H, Mick Foley, Big Show. I think came through twice. Bunch more. I mean, there were just so many different people that came through to visit soldiers. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Okay, so we're in the last couple of minutes of our show. Once again, I would like to thank you, Foreman, even though you weren't the one that was originally requested. I'd like to thank you for knocking out Joseph and coming in on the show for a bit. It's always a
You're
pleasure,
very
no matter
welcome.
who I get in the seat. Normally this is the time that we would do ask the host questions, but seeing as there's only one host tonight, I'm going to give you the honor of asking me two questions of whatever you want.
Okay. One, would you be up to throwing a few reps with me later in the week or next week?
Oh, of course. You
Awesome.
barely have to ask.
Okay, but on the real, I'll ask the other questions. One, are you coming to Grand Gathering?
Um, I have been cleared to travel during those dates. It is all about finding a way of getting myself over to the event. If I
Cool.
can find a way of making it up there, I will be there. And I am looking for ways of getting up
Cool. Um, hmm. Where, oh, my second question, where were you born or where are you from?
there. I have been born and raised in San Antonio, Texas for the
Sweet.
entirety of my life.
Yeah, we had talked about that one night. I love that city. I trained there when I was a medic.
Which
Yeah.
base did you
Uh,
train?
Fort Sam Houston.
Fort Sam Houston?
Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful base.
Yeah. Nice people, nice, that was a good place to train. The drill sergeants weren't always nice, but I understand they don't use drill sergeants in AIT anymore.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they don't use them after basic.
Then again, I've never been military. I've always been private.
Right, right. That's kind of funny pun what you just said there.
I know.
Haha! You are very good. You are very good with the punniness. I very much enjoyed being on the show. And, when I was at Grand Gathering, Steve Resk asked me to say a few words at the show. And I just, if I could just take a second.
Of
Um, I've said before, this community, it means a lot to me. It's very important to me. Um, and that's why I'm retiring. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa,
I'm
whoa,
just
whoa,
kidding.
whoa.
I'm just kidding. No, this company means a lot to me. LFF, BCW. My wife is coming with me to a con. She's playing games with me. We're rolling dice together. I mean, it's a dream come true for me because I've always wanted to find a game that she would be really interested in because she's a little shy when it comes to games like D&D and stuff like that. That demands a bunch of interaction.
Oh,
So so I'm really excited to be a part of a community where she can flourish just as much as I can. And I actually this Thursday I'm going up to the Realm in Mansfield, Ohio. It's a store, a game store, and I'm going to be demoing for some of the employees there and maybe leave a deck or two behind for the person there to play and maybe get the game in there.
awesome.
So yeah, it'll be really cool. I'm hoping to be kind of a bit of an
Advocate.
ambassador here. Yeah. Yep. So
That
yeah.
is amazing to hear. Hopefully, Super Show gets a new home in the realm. And where do you say that's
hmm
located?
That is in Mansfield, Ohio. They are. It was owned by a friend of mine, but he just recently sold it to a younger guy, and they went through and they cleaned up and changed a lot of the walls and changed a lot of the like they just went in there and changed everything, and it's beautiful and it doesn't have that 80s vibe that my buddy was used to.
Okay, so Mansfield, Ohio. If for some reason you find yourself there this Thursday, go check it out. See if you can assist with uh, teaching Super Show, or if you want to learn Super Show,
hmm
you can just end up.
Yep. Yep. I'll be demoing for a couple hours and then I'm going to make plans with them to come back with the missus and demo a little bit more. So,
Well, thank you so much for being here, Foreman. It is a pleasure to have you. Next week, our guest is Tyler Schwab, otherwise known as Le Penguin. I demand weekly Pearl pictures. Well, that
oh, I
might.
will send you Pearl pictures.
And can I get a bye, man?
Bye, man.
See you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.